It's either nice to meet you or welcome back. I'm the Paleo Giant, and today I'm making these mouth-watering marry me pork chops that will have your significant other ready to put a ring on it. And if you already married, it'll make them want to marry you again. Let's go. If you haven't learned this yet, you will learn. I am a slut for onions. So what I'm gonna do is finely dice one medium yellow onion and about 5 to 6 cloves of garlic. The ONG will be set to the side for later on in the cooking process. I would like to add that I'm a Sam's Club and Walmart partner, so if you see something in my videos you would like for yourself or for someone you care about, check out my storefront link below. It will help my channel immensely at no extra cost to you. Also, go ahead and hit subscribe. Now back to making this meal. Next, I cut off the woody ends to asparagus and I cut them in half. I would eat asparagus a lot more often. They're really good when cooked right and made right, but they honestly make my urine smell like farts. Now I set those aside. Now after I wash my pork chops, and yes, I wash my meat thoroughly. My Gma did not play about not washing my meat. I let them soak in a vinegar and water mixture for about 10 minutes, then I pat them dry in preparation for seasoning them and letting them marinate for about 30 minutes. And don't worry, the seasoning that I made that will go on these pork chops, it will be down below. I did it by weight, i.e. grams, rather than tablespoons and teaspoons because I am preparing to make a cookbook and I don't like to measure. And yes, it may seem like a lot, but it's the perfect amount for the 4 pork chops with the bone in and 2 pork loin with some leftover seasoning for the sauce. And remember, when seasoning this, make sure to press the seasoning into the meat. Try not to rub it. You don't want to rub it off. Push it into the meat. Next, to a preheated skillet, add some avocado oil. And right now I'm showing off my wife's kitchen tool she bought. I'm using it before her because she used my pan I just bought before me. Nanny boo boo. Now I add in my cut asparagus, to which I make sure all of them are evenly coated in the hot oil before I add a pinch of salt, pepper, and garlic powder. And to be honest, that's all the seasoning you need for asparagus. They are so good, really delicious, but again, they do make your pee stink. Also, go ahead and wrap 1 large sweet potato in aluminum foil and put it into a 400-degree oven. And this should be done by the time everything else is done. Dang, this spatula is nice. I might have to get me one. Now once the asparagus is vibrant and crunchy and beautifully flavored, I'm gonna go ahead and set that to the side, add avocado oil to my pan, and move on to cooking my pork chops. And again, I have 2 different cuts of pork chops. One is from the tenderloin. It doesn't have a bone inside of it, and it is very thin, so it will cook a lot faster. Then the other one is a T-bone pork chop that is much more thick, and that one will take a while longer to cook. And I'm really looking for color here and not too much of fully cooking these because they're gonna go inside of that sauce we're making later. So internal temp about 143, that's perfect. Now this is the browning that you want to get on your pork chops before you flip them over. And as you can see, I'm not squeezing the juices out of these things. I'm just lightly pressing so I can get more contact to the skillet. Now once these pork loins are done, again, these cook faster than the other ones. I'm going to set these to the side and work on my other pork chop. And if you haven't made this type of pork chops before, the middle right there likes to bulge upwards away from the skillet when you cook it. The remedy to this is to use a knife or scissors to snip the fat on the edge to help release the pressure. And then you cook as normal. Now once the pork chops are done, I then toss in my ONG I finely diced earlier, and that moisture they hold will help release the flavor from the bottom of the pan. That's called the fond, as they say in the cooking world. Next, when the ONG are brown, I put them in a high wall pan and add in the chopped sun-dried tomatoes. Then I add in unsweetened coconut milk, and I stir that consistently until I feel they become real good friends in there. Then, once it comes to a simmer, I then add a bit of the leftover seasoning I used for the pork chops. Then I take a taste. And this is where I'll add more seasoning or adjust the flavors that I'm looking for. Next, this is for the cheesy aspect. I'm gonna add about 3/4 of the wedge of Parmesan, stirring quickly, making sure to keep the Parmesan from burning on the bottom of the pan. And this is also the time that you'll add the spinach into the sauce. And you don't want to put it in too early because it would change the color of the sauce. Right now would be a perfect time to add it. And I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I forgot to add the spinach to the sauce. I had to go back later on, take everything out, add the spinach to the sauce, then put everything back in. But that's okay. That's what cooking is, making mistakes and learning from them. Look at all that flavor covering those pork chops. And after the pork chops are fully covered with that sauce, I'm gonna go ahead and turn the heat down on low, add a lid, let it simmer while I work on my sweet potato. Now we're not gonna do anything crazy with the sweet potato because we already have a lot of flavors going on, and that sauce can help a lot with the sweet potato. So I don't add anything to it. I'm just gonna go ahead and mash it up, plate it with our asparagus, and go ahead and add our pork chop. And there you got it, a healthier version of Marry Me pork chops. I don't know about y'all, but I'm about to eat.